Hey there world, I'm the Courageous Goldfish, and today I'm so late on this, I'm so sorry. Today we are doing my 2023 anime figure pre-orders. Most of the figure channels that I follow have already been up and at 'em with making these videos. I've seen so many videos of people talking about what they're excited about for 2023, and I, of course, needed to make an updated version. I made one last year for my 2022 pre-orders, and so this is what I got on the back burner for 2023. Truthfully, I was waiting to make this video because I have two figures that are going for pre-order pretty soon that I will almost definitely be trying to pick up, and so I was waiting to see if maybe I could include them in this video, but I'm gonna do honorable mentions for them at the end, so hold your horses. I'm still gonna be talking about them today, but I don't have like locked down pre-orders for them because they're not up yet, but they are figures that I am seriously considering purchasing. The likelihood that I will not be POing these is pretty slim, so we're gonna talk about them at the end, but for now let's just jump right into it with January. I actually don't even really know where to begin explaining this, and I'm gonna sound bitter and angry, but to be honest, I did it to myself. Do not feel sorry for me. But essentially what happened was, we know on this channel I love Urza Scarlet, and so I had three really expensive Urza scales pre-ordered. I have the Orca Toys 1/6, I also have the Bare Leg Bunny, and I also have the Pop-Up Parade XL on pre-order, but I thought to myself, I was like, you know what, it's okay. At the time that I pre-ordered them, the Orca Toys one was supposed to come out in September, the bunny was supposed to come out at the end of November, and then the Pop-Up Parade was supposed to be at the end of January, and so I thought I spaced them out. I was like, this is gonna be okay. This is gonna be doable. Yes, it's gonna hurt a little bit, but it's not like it's like all in the same month, like you're gonna be okay, it's gonna be whatever. Like, yeah, I was a little bit nervous. I was, because this is the most I've ever spent on figures ever, is for these three Urza figures. It's actually ridiculous. Anyways, getting ahead of myself. I thought it was gonna be fine, basically. I convinced myself it was gonna be okay, that it was gonna be doable, and I was gonna be fine. Tell me why. Tell me why they all got delayed into January. Tell me why I have to pay for all three of them at the same goddamn time. I actually cried. And again, don't feel bad for me because I did it to myself. I f***ed myself over. I did. This is my problem. But I was so like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you gotta be kidding me with this. I couldn't believe it. Anyways. I cry on the inside. So yeah, my January is like stacked and I'm a little upset about it, but it's fine. The first one that has an official release date is the freeing quarter scale Urza Scarlet Bare Leg Bunny. I am like super duper excited about this. I was like half in, half out with this because A, I was gonna buy it because it was Urza already, but B, I'm not super into the freeing bunnies. That was until a couple of weeks ago I unboxed my Rindo Kobayashi Bare Leg Bunny and I could not stop raving. If you want to watch the video, I'll link it down below of me unboxing her, but she's just gorgeous and now I cannot wait for Urza to go next to her. Super, super excited about that one. She has a scheduled release date of January 11th, and that is like, what day is today? Today's the 9th, so she's coming out in 2 days. By the time that this video is up, she might already be to my house, but as of currently filming this, she's coming out in 2 days, so technically it's still a pre-order. Got my Urza Bare Leg coming, super excited about that one. The other one that I do have a set release date for is the Pop-Up Parade Extra Large Urza Scarlet Final Season version quarter scale figure. So as you know, Pop-Up Parades are non-scale figures. However, the extra large is supposed to be their faux quarter scale. They don't call it a quarter scale, but to kind of gauge how big it's gonna be, it's basically a quarter scale. And so I'm super excited about this one, to be honest. I know a lot of people have their ups and their downs about Pop-Up Parade, but you know, it's Urza, and I really love armored Urza figures. We don't get them nearly as often as we should, and so honestly, if she turns out even remotely like she's supposed to, I'm gonna be happy. Funnily enough, the one that was supposed to come out in September is the one that's gotten delayed the longest, which is great. But this one is the Orca Toys Urza Scarlet Flame Manjo Red version. Maybe. It's the 1/6 scale with the fire. It's really cool. I'm super duper excited about it. And my Amazon Japan order says that she will be delivered between February 3 and February 6. So she is presumably going to be releasing at the end of January, which is very exciting because I'm super duper excited about this one. This is the one that I am the most on the fence on. And you know what? This was the one I was the most excited for. And now I trust Freeing a little bit more because of the bear leg thing, so I'm not worried about the bear leg money anymore. The pop-up parade, like, I was slightly worried about it, but there have been some videos of her at exhibitions and she seems to have turned out all right, so I know I'm gonna be pretty happy with it no matter what. This one I am a little bit afraid because I have such high hopes for this figure. I loved the sculpt. When I first saw this, it was a sculpt in my figure collection. And I said, I was like, oh, it's gonna take years for them to do this. I've told the whole story about how I was not ever expecting this figure to see the light of day. I have such high expectations and I am really afraid because I know that Orca Toys is like half and half. Sometimes they turn out really well and sometimes they don't. For me personally, faces are a really big part of a figure and I don't tend to like the Orca Toy faces. And so I'm really afraid that I'm gonna like everything else except for the face and that's just gonna ruin it for me. Or on the flip side, that the whole thing is gonna be terrible, like that would just suck. She's also the most expensive one out of the three. So if she ends up being the one that I like the least, I will be disappointed. I really hope she turns out well. We're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see. It's just one of those things where I'm just gonna have to open her and decide, so. There is that. They are all coming to me presumably by the end of January, and so I'm gonna combine them all into one big Urza figure extravaganza video. So that is something that you can keep your peepers peeled for. So that is what my January looks like as far as scale figures go. Okay, now we gotta get into... I'm having issues. I'm having problems because I generally like to use Big Bad Toy Store for like Bandai licenses or like stuff that Ami doesn't get. So I pre-ordered these because I had to. I don't willingly use Big Bad Toy Store because it's an American site. The American conversion to the Canadian dollar is usually pretty crap, and so generally it's more expensive for me to buy in USD. But I promise that these are figures that I had to pre-order through Big Bad Toy Store, and I'm paying the price for it. I really am. I guess we'll start with the one I've been waiting on for the longest. So I pre-ordered the Love is War Kaguya Shinomiya pop-up parade. This came out in March of 2022 and Big Bad Toy Store had her slated for shipping in June. I was like, it's a couple of months, but it's fine, whatever. I pre-ordered her off Big Bad Toy Store because the pre-orders were closed everywhere else by the time that Chica went up. And so I was like, oh, it's fine, I'll get her on the same month as Chica and it'll be good and I can put them together and it'll be so cute. I have Chica. Where's Kaguya? Month after month after month after month since June of 2022, she has continually been delayed. She's now delayed until January of 2022 from June. And it's like, oh my God, you guys, like that is like 8 months of delay. Basically, for a figure that is out. Like, she's out. People have her. I shoehorned myself into buying her off of Big Bad Toy Store because I panicked and I was like, well, I pre-ordered Chica. I want to have a pre-order for Kaguya so that it's like guaranteed that I'm gonna get her. And I should have just waited for Ami to stock her because I would have had her in like March. And now I'm still waiting and it's January. So anyways, Eventually she's coming, I think. So I will have the Kaguya to go with my Chica pop-up parade. It's the same story with the other prize figures that I have pre-ordered from Big Bad Toy Store. As I said before, generally I only use it for stuff that I can't get off AmiAmi, and so I actually have a whole whack ton of the Sailor Moon Glitters and Glamours figures pre-ordered. I have my Eternal Sailor Moon over here, and I really, really liked her. We do get shafted for Sailor Moon figures, so I thought they're a good size, they're a decent enough quality, and I like the bases on them, and so I decided I was going to pre-order the Senshi set. I have been waiting for my Super Sailor Moon version 2 since August. Keeps getting delayed, keeps getting delayed, keeps getting delayed, keeps getting delayed. I was also supposed to have Super Sailor Mercury by now. I believe she was originally slated for October, and Super Sailor Mars was also slated for, I think it was maybe December. Now they're all January. I have so many that are supposedly coming in January. The great part about Big Bad Toy Store is that they do have a warehouse, and so what I was planning to do anyways was to get them all and just like keep them in the warehouse as long as possible so that I could ship them all out together. But if I'm ever gonna get them is a mystery at this point. So yes, supposedly at the end of January I should have 4 prize figures sitting in the warehouse at Big Bad Toy Store. I doubt that it will happen. I have very limited hope, very limited faith, but you know, it is what it is. Moving right along on a similar train of thought, my only pre-order for February at the moment is the Bandai Glitters and Glamours Super Sailor Jupiter figure. Jupiter is my favorite scout, and so I'm like super excited for her. I also have Super Sailor Venus pre-ordered. I think she's coming to me in April, supposedly. So I'm super duper excited to have the set. I believe it is also announced that they will be doing the Outer Senshi set as well, and barring any terrible complications with the ones I've already ordered, I'm probably gonna order the Outer Senshi set as well. So I guess there's a lot of glitters and glamours coming my way. Moving right into March, I have only one pre-order for March and I am so excited about it. I have pre-ordered the Bandai Proplica Spiral Heart Moonrod Brilliant Color Edition. I love the Proplicas. I think they are one of the best pieces of Sailor Moon merch that we ever get. My Moonstick has been like my prized possession since I was a teenager. A couple of years ago, I added the Brilliant Color Crystal Star and the Brilliant Color Cutie Moonrod to my collection as well, and I always wanted the Spiral Heart Moonrod. It's always been my favorite Sailor Moon wand. I've always loved the Crystal Star the most, but my favorite wand has been the Spiral Heart Moonrod, and I have always regretted missing out on purchasing the Spiral Heart Moonrod because I saw it on Amazon. I really wanted to purchase it. I did not have a job. I was like 15 and I was like, no, and then it got super expensive on the aftermarket and I just, you know, I figured I would never own it and I was super sad about that. And then they came out of the woodwork and gave us this Brilliant Color re-edition, and oh my god, it's everything. At first, I wasn't 1000% sold on the red over the pink. I'm generally more of a pink loving person than the red, but to be completely honest, it's grown on me. I think that the pink color that they use for the recolors is way nicer than like the peachy pink that they started with. And so honestly, I'm just like, I'm so excited. I believe I pre-ordered this one off of Hobby Genki because I wanted to pay for it in yen. It was a little bit more expensive than I thought it was going to be, you know, with figure prices going up, plastic is expensive, and so it was around 19,000 yen. And so I wanted to pre-order it in yen because in American it was just going to be way too expensive for me. So I think it is a Hobby Genki pre-order. The other really nice thing is that by going through Hobby Genki, you do have the option to pay in advance, and so I have already actually paid for the wand itself. I will only be paying for the shipping when March comes around, which is a really nice break for my wallet, especially considering that January is going to be a massacre because of all these ursas. So really excited that I've already paid that off. Super excited to receive it. I am just absolutely over the moon that they re-released this. Just so excited. It was an instant pre-order. I've been wanting this for my collection for a while and I'm just so excited about it. Moving right along into April, we've already spoken about the Glitters and Glamours Super Sailor Venus. Super duper excited to have an Inner Senshi set. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I'm loving how affordable these ones are too. That was part of my decision to get the whole set, was that they were cheap, they were good quality, and they were a decent size. So for me personally, this is the way to go to get all of the Senshi in my collection for an affordable price. I have had good experiences with the one Glitters and Glamours that I've had, so hopefully the other ones live up to my expectations. I also have another pop-up parade that is slated for April. I have the Urza Scarlet Grand Magic Games version pop-up parade pre-ordered. Of course, you don't even have to ask anymore. Like, do I even have to explain? Like, we already knew. We already knew. Like, I have the other two pop-up parades. I'm buying the extra large. I'm just gonna have a shrine. I'm gonna have a shrine, and that's okay. So, actually really excited about this one, honestly, because I like this outfit. And this seems like a very out-of-the-box choice for them to make. And I really love it. I'm here for it. I also do have one scale figure pre-ordered for April as well, and that is Kotobukiya's 1/7 scale Lumine from Genshin Impact. I have been playing a lot of Genshin Impact recently, which is super duper weird for me because generally I'm not a gamer. Like, I play Pokemon. I play Pokemon and like sometimes Kirby, but like mostly Nintendo games, right? Like childhood stuff. I'm not a gamer. I don't do like first-person shooter or anything. I don't do RPGs. I don't do none of that. Like, Genshin Impact is the only game that I play, and I don't understand why it has such a chokehold on me. I have a very, very low attention span when it comes to games usually. Like, I can play for like an hour and then I'm like, yeah, I'm over this. Like, it feels like pulling teeth sometimes to get me to sit down and actually play through a game because my attention span is just so like inconsistent. But for Genshin Impact, I could play that for hours and still be there like, just one more, one more, one more. And maybe that is like the true evil, is that it's addictive. And maybe that's why I love it so much. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm having a really, really fun time playing Genshin Impact. I chose Lumine and I was like, you know what? I like how this figure turned out. I want to have it for my collection, and so I'm gonna pre-order it. I pre-ordered this figure pretty soon after I started playing, and so to be completely honest with you, I've fallen out of love with her just a little bit because when I first pre-ordered her, I was using the Traveler a lot because she was like one of the only characters I had. But now that I've been playing it for a little while, I have more options with characters, and I actually haven't reached for her in a very long time, and so I'm kind of like over the idea that I need to have the Traveler figure in my collection. But I think Kotobukiya just did a really, really good job with her paintwork, and she's gonna turn out really nicely, and so I am really loath to cancel her. I've been thinking about it. If there's any figure on this list that is on the chopping block, it is her. Also partially because Kotobukiya usually goes down on the aftermarket, and so if I could get her for a better price. But to be honest, 15,000 yen is not a crazy asking price for this figure, so to be honest, I might just keep her. You might have also noticed in the background, my brother got me a replica Genshin weapon for Christmas. And it is like the coolest thing ever. I didn't even know they made such a thing, but he had this huge box under the tree and I was like, this is crazy. I pulled a whole ass sword out of this box. Are you kidding me? This man is insane. So this is my Skyward Pride fiberglass replica. This is also great because I'm a cosplayer, and so in my brain I was like, okay, obviously I gotta make a Genshin Impact cosplay now, right? But like, what character can hold this weapon, blah blah, you know. I don't have that weapon in the game, right? Because I'm a wuss, I don't spend money. I only roll when I've earned enough primo gems through like quests and stuff. I've never spent a dime on the game. So I don't have a huge expanse of characters or a huge expanse of weapons. However, I got really, really excited when I googled this sword and I figured out that it is not in fact a sword, it is a claymore, which is super exciting because I am a Beidou main. Beidou is like one of my favorites that I have. She's my favorite to play. She is probably the one that I have like leveled up the most, aside from Kaya. Kaya is my favorite of all time. Again, I'm just playing with like characters that I got for free or like characters that I rolled for and got lucky with, and so Beidou and Kaya are like my top two at the moment. I'm also using Xingqiu a lot. Xingqiu and Barbara I alternate between, and I can't get rid of Amber. I want to get rid of Amber because quite honestly I find her a little bit annoying, but I need an archer and I need a good pyro, and so it's like, oh my god. She just fits into the team and I can't replace her, and so it's just like, okay. So I'm living with Amber at the moment, but I also have Xiangling, and I like to use her sometimes too. So I kind of alternate between that. But like Kaya and Beidou, I don't like to leave them out. If I can at all help it, I will bring Kaya and Beidou into every fight. Again, may I remind you, I'm not good at this shit. Like, I'm really, really terrible at this game. I'm sure people would see how I play it. Like, I could never stream it because people would just be like, oh my god, you are just like, I'm really bad at it. But I enjoy it and I think it's really fun. So I'm having fun with it and that's what matters. Anyways, that was a really, really long tangent to tell you that I ordered the Traveler figure and it's coming out in April. Moving on. I don't have anything pre-ordered for May at the moment unless something gets delayed. So then we just jump right into June. I am so excited about this. So in the recent times, Kotobukiya has been re-releasing their Pokemon line, and that has just been like making me so excited. Pokemon is like one of my favorite game franchises. It's like a huge big part of my childhood. I'm like very hyper fixated on Pokemon for most of my life, and so of course I was super bummed when the aftermarkets were super high for these Pokemon trainer figures, and I'm really excited that they're re-releasing them. Obviously, at the latest One Hobby, I freaked out over the announcement of Dawn with Turtwig because I actually predicted this a couple months ago in my Figures I Wish Existed video. I said I wanted something exactly like this. Obviously, I am holding out for a re-release of the original Hikari and Pochama, but what I think would also be really cool is if they did a figure of Dawn's platinum outfit, which would be just like amazing with her little coat dress. It's so cute. If they wanted to make it feel different from the Hikari and Pochama, they could put her with Turtwig, so that way they would have all three of the starters in a figure, you know, because Lucas with Chimchar and Dawn with Piplup, and then if you put the platinum Dawn with Turtwig, you know? I don't know. That would be just so cute. And Kotobukiya is seeing massive success with this poke. So I literally screamed when I saw the announcement. I was like, ah, it's the thing! So I'm hoping that that is gonna go hand in hand with a Dawn with Piplup re-release. Please? I would love that. I would love that. The one with Piplup is my absolute holy grail. Super excited about that. I don't see it not happening. And so it's just a matter of time. This brings me back to the point. So in June, I have the May with Mudkip re-release pre-ordered. Super excited about that one. I know that there was a May with Torchic release just a little bit ago, and I did consider picking that one up as well. I do really love Torchic and honestly would prefer to have Torchic over Mudkip, but I just thought to myself, like, this one has a cuter art style. The pose kind of goes better with how I see my Pokemon shelf going on. She's kind of faced in the right direction to perfectly complement the Lyra with Chikorita that I also want to go up for re-release. And so I was thinking in my head of like how it would look to put them all together. And for me, it just fits better to have May with Mudkip and Lyra with Chikorita with my two Dawns in the front. That's what I see. That is my vision. So hopefully I will be able to make that happen, but you know, we'll see. That is a really long-winded way of saying I am also buying this Pokemon figure. I have seen so many people that are getting this figure, or like the Brendan with Trico or Lily's figures are getting re-released as well. A ton of people pre-ordered those. So excited about these Kotobukiya re-releases. It's what everybody was hoping for, really. After May with Mudkip in June, I do have a break in July, and we pick it right back up strong in August with the Max Factory 1/7 scale Racing Miku 2010. I am really not a super huge Racing Miku gal, but there is something about this one that just gets me right in all the good places. I love that she's kneeling. Her pose is super sexy. Her facial expression is super duper cute. And of course, like any good Miku, it has a fantastic hair sculpt. I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that it was illustrated and based off of the art by Kentaro Yabuki, which is a name that probably doesn't mean a lot to many of you, but for me it was a really big decider on deciding to pre-order this Racing Miku over any of the other ones. This is just the one that spoke to me the most. She is so beautiful, and I am like insanely excited. Insanely excited for this figure. Is she kind of expensive? Yeah, sorta. Like, she's 21,000 yen. With the Yami Yami discount, it's like 20,000. So it's not terrible. It's acceptable to me. I don't know, dude. There's just something about this one that really speaks to me, and so I needed to have it for my collection. I'm really trying to limit myself on only buying Mikus that I'm like totally in love with, because otherwise I would just have a collection full of Miku. So I'm really trying to limit myself, and this is one that I broke down and it was just like, I need to have that one. So I am so excited about this one. As far as actual physical pre-orders go, my last one is in September of 2022. This is the last figure I have pre-ordered from Big Bad Toy Store at the moment, and might actually be my last ever if the shipping delays keep being this bad. I might just have to find a different way. But this was the same situation with Kaguya, that I didn't realize I wanted it until the pre-orders were already sold out everywhere and I had to go with Big Bad Toy Store. So I do actually have a pre-order spot for the re-release Nendoroid Waddle Dee. I'm really excited about this one. Ever since I was a kid, Waddle Dee was always my favorite. When I was younger, I used to watch my little brother play games a lot. I was never really very good at video games and I found them kind of frustrating sometimes, but I really liked the art style and like the story of a lot of these games, and so I would sit and I would watch my little brother play them. One of my favorite games when I was younger was Kirby's Epic Yarn, and I've since gone through and played it myself because it's not difficult. I was just like 7 and stupid. However, I love that game, and what my brother used to do to piss me off was he would kill the friendly Waddle Dees. He would kill all the NPCs that would come across the screen, and like, I get it. If it's the spear Waddle Dee, he's out to get you, he will harm you. I understand, removing obstacles, whatever, blah blah. But especially in Kirby's Epic Yarn, sometimes these bitches were just sitting around having a picnic, you know what I mean? Like, why are you coming in ruining these Waddle Dee's day for no reason? Like, you don't gotta be a dick about it. Except he was, because, you know, siblings. So that's a fun story for y'all. As a sidebar, my boyfriend is not a figure collector, aside from the Megami that I got him for Christmas 2 years ago. But one thing that he does have is the original release Kirby Nendoroid, and that thing has been on his desk for pretty much as long as I've known him. And so I just thought it would be super duper cute if one day we have our own his and hers office and we can just have our little Kirby and Waddle Dee Nendoroids together, and I just think it would be so cute. As I said in the intro, there are 2 figures that will be going up for pre-order soon that I will almost definitely be pre-ordering, and so I feel like it's pretty safe to talk about them. I don't have like dedicated, specific, like locked in pre-orders for these because they're not up yet, but if the rumor mill is true, they should be up by the end of the month, because this video may already be out of date by the time it comes out. So I figured if I talk about them, then I cover all my bases and I won't be like pissed off later that I didn't wait to film it. This first one I want to talk about is one that should have gone up like a while ago. The original scheduled pre-order date was supposed to open on October the 4th, and then it just kept getting pushed back to like, now it's before Christmas, da da da. The new rumor mill says that the pre-orders will start on January the 11th. We'll see if that's true, but I'm filming this on the 9th, 2 days before the 11th, so I don't actually know for sure if this one has gone up or not. But the likelihood is I'll be pre-ordering it because I've been watching this figure and just like falling in love with her more and more every single day. I'm pretty sure that I've already talked about her on this channel before, but this is the Good Smile Company 1/6 scale pet girlfriend figure. I'm so excited about this one. Generally, I'm not a lewd figure enjoyer, but there's just something about this one that like blows me out of the water. When I first found this figure on my figure collection, it was just an artwork, and so I followed it through the artwork stage, the sculpt stage, and then eventually into the painting stage. So I'm really excited about this one. I've loved seeing it come to life. There's just something about it that like gets me. The only thing that I'm slightly on the fence about is her blush. I know that a lot of people think it's really cute, but I think it's more overstated in the figure than it was on the artwork, so I'm like kinda half and half on it. But overall, I think she is really gorgeous, and if she is not like a ridiculous price, I will almost certainly be pre-ordering her. The other thing that I love about this one too is that it is actually based on a cosplayer. So Hanayame is a cosplayer that I'd never heard of until I saw this, and I was like, I have to investigate where this comes from. Fantastic! Why are we not doing more figures of original cosplays? I think it's fantastic. As a cosplayer myself, that just endeared me to the figure more, and so in all likelihood, I will be pre-ordering this one. It's official! She went up on AmiAmi, and she's actually totally reasonably priced. I'm surprised. She's like 21,000 with the AmiAmi discount. So honestly, for a 1/6, I couldn't be happier. I'm so excited. Pre-order secured. That's the update. This next figure is like basically the complete opposite experience that I had with the pet girlfriend figure. This figure did not exist on the MFC database until he went up for pre-order on Tom. I'd never seen of this figure, I'd never heard it announced, I'd never seen any sculpts, I never saw any artwork for this at all. He just straight up did not exist until he went up for pre-order, like fully painted and primed and ready and beautiful. Me and my friend group collectively lost our little minds, let me tell you. And that is the Myethos 1/7 scale Aki Hayakawa. Are you kidding me? Look at this man. I think my jaw actually legitimately dropped when I saw him up for pre-order, because I get the Tom emails every week. Actually, it's more like it's daily rather than weekly. Anyways, basically, Tom sends out these newsletters that's like, hey, here's our new figures in stock, and I always go through that just to see, like, what's going on for pre-order. Sometimes things come out of the blue that I want to pre-order that I've never seen before, and this was one of them. I actually think that I sat with my jaw on the floor for like 10 minutes when I scrolled past this figure and was like, oh my god, he's beautiful. I am gonna out myself here for a second. I'm a bisexual woman, which means that I am attracted to the male gender. And one of my biggest turn-ons when it comes to men is suspenders. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. I'm just not going to. That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know is that I like suspenders. And so I saw this figure and I lost my little damn mind. Look at how just like casually he's posed in this chair with this like hyper realistic zombie and like the sword stuff. He's just so cool. There is something about Myethos. I'm telling you right now, there's something about Myethos that is just so special. And especially right now, they are just absolutely killing it with all these figures they're putting out. I've been thoroughly impressed with every Myethos figure that I've seen someone else unbox, and I don't personally have any. And so this is probably going to be my first Myethos figure. I trust Myethos with my whole heart. I know that he's gonna turn out fantastic and amazing, and I need to have him like yesterday. I don't know what I can say about this figure that it doesn't say for itself, and so I'm not gonna say much more on it other than the fact that I have been stressing out about it, mostly because it did go up for pre-order on Tom, and that was the first time anyone ever saw it, as far as I know. That was when the listing was created for MFC, and so I was like, okay, you know what? He'll show up on other pre-order platforms, right? Like I'll be able to get him on AmiAmi or like maybe Amazon Japan or something like that. He'll be out somewhere in the world. This was a couple weeks ago now that he went up on Tom, and he's also been up on Good Smile International, and he's sold out like pretty fast. And he's not shown up on AmiAmi or like Amazon Japan or anything like that. So people in the My Figure Collection comments are like panicking that he's a China only exclusive, like the what was that Miku? The Miku one they did? I'll put a picture of it up. You know what Miku I'm talking about. This one was a China exclusive, and people were like freaking out about that because she was so sought after and so hard to find because she wasn't on any of the Japanese pre-order sites. And so now people are freaking out like, oh, Myethos, they've done it again. Hopefully he will come out on AmiAmi, and then I will pre-order him and life will be good. Life is good. Life is good. We got him, boys. The only thing that's not so good is that price tag. That one's a bit of a youch. I thought Myethos was supposed to be like a little more affordable, but
I guess he's pretty detailed, and you get like 2 fully sculpted zombies as well, and like a very detailed chair, so I guess I can't be too mad, but pre-order secured.
And that is my big long rant over. I actually don't have anything pre-ordered for 2024 yet. My pre-orders do end with my September Waddle Dee, and so I know a lot of people have been including their 2024 pre-orders. I'm not leaving them out intentionally, I just don't have any yet, so, you know. We'll have a new slate for the new year. I wonder how long that'll last. Again, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for your continued support of this channel. I said in the outro of the last video, but I'm gonna say again, thank you guys so much for 700 subscribers. I am just eternally grateful that there are people that want to sit there and listen to me rant about my hobby, and so I'm eternally grateful that you're here. If you are interested in me and you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. We do some fun stuff over here, so definitely subscribe if you're interested in like figures or anime, stuff like that. I'm also trying to revive my cosplay career this year. I have just not been finishing anything, and so I think I just need that like motivation to go like, here, I did it, I made the thing. I also used to make plushies when I was younger, like I used to hand make plushies, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I would like to get back into doing that in the new year. But we'll see, you know? My squirrel brain can hardly keep up with things as it is, so we'll see. But of course, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.